Hi everyone, welcome to today's class. Thank you so much for joining me here in beautiful Nosara, Costa Rica. Today I'm bringing you a 42 minutes full body class. You will need a block. If you don't have a block, then you can just grab a similar size book. And if you don't have access to a wall or something for stability, then you would need a stick. And also optionally, if you have massage balls or 2 tennis balls, that could be also handy. We're going to start from a seated position. Any seated position where you feel comfortable and you can keep your spine nice and long. Resting your hands on your thighs and close your eyes. And just start connecting to your breathing. Inhaling and exhaling through the nostrils. And just connecting to the present moment. Noticing how you feel today, how your body is feeling today. Every day is different. Every inhalation, lengthen the crown of the head all the way up toward the ceiling. Relax the shoulders down. Keep your neck long. And now reach your arms forward again. Start tucking your chin all the way down. Start rounding your spine. And then inhale. Return all the way back. Sitting on your sitting bones, finding a bit of extension. And now let's just alternate between those two movements a couple of times. Finding that length, the chest is opening. And then exhaling. Rounding it all the way out, tucking the chin, and then inhaling back. Now inhale, reach your arms out to the side. Make a fist with both hands and start rolling your arms all the way into inner rotation and then all the way out into external rotation. Do a couple of that. Fully rolling all the way in and then rolling all the way out. And then we're going to end up staying in this rolled out position where your palm is facing all the way up. Reach out with the arms. Create some space on the back of the body. Keep your spine nice and tall. Just keep rotating the hands. And then bring the hands all the way in, shoulder width apart, and start sliding your shoulder blades away from each other. And then pull the arms back and glide the shoulder blades together. Shoulder blades separate from each other, protracting, and then squeezing together, going into retraction. Let's do a few more of that. And this time, you can also start adding a circle to it. So when you separate the shoulder blades away from each other, start rolling the shoulders all the way up and then squeeze the blades together and then send them all the way down. And then again, reach the arms forward, maybe a little higher if it's possible, protraction. Then lift the shoulders to the ears and then squeeze the blades together. And then send them all the way down. Just keep going like that, as slow as you can, with as much control as you can. And then switch directions. Squeezing, elevating, and then reach the arms out to the sides again. And now bend the left arm. And lean over to the left side, reach your arm above. Inhale back to center. Bend the right elbow, lean over. Reach with the left arm all the way. And then back to center again. Drop the chin all the way down. And then start rolling your neck all the way to the right. And then back to center, all the way to the left. And then again, slowly rotating to the right. Rolling all the way back, rotating to the left. Just keep going. Just follow your own pace. Go as slow as you can, as you need to, as it feels good. And then at this time, you can just keep rotating what we were doing, or you can start adding, making it a full circle. So rotating over to the left, I'm side bending to the left, and then extending it all the way back. I am immediately rotating to the right, side bending to the right, and rolling it all the way back down. Now, rotate over to the right, side bend to the right, extend it all the way back as you're rotating to the left, side bend to the left, and roll all the way back into center. Just keep going. Very important that try to keep the movement going all the way through. So don't get stuck with it. And if you have any issues or any tensions, then don't extend the neck all the way back and don't do the full circle. And now release. Reach the legs out, bend the knees, and move your arms ahead of you. Keep the spine long as you lean back. And then start rounding from the lower belly as you're reaching all the way down to the ground. Arms staying up. Initiate coming up from tucking the chin again and rounding all the way up. So instead of coming up with a straight back, this is not exactly what we're aiming for here. You roll all the way down, super slow, trying to make contact with the floor with every vertebrae. And then when you come up, roll the neck, round the spine. Press into the feet. All the way up. And then go again. And then release. Move the legs out to the side and wind chill vibe them over to the left, then over to the right. And then make yourself all the way up into a seated position. Grab your block. We're going to place the block with the skinnier side under the sacrum bone. So it's at the base of the spine, but the fleshy part of your glutes are off that block. And then just start resting the back of the pelvis and push it into the block. And then you may notice that you can start feeling a sensation, a little bit of a release. You can reach the arms out to the side. Spending a couple of breaths there. You can start lifting the right leg up without moving the lower back. And then the left leg up. Making sure that nothing else moves. Keep squeezing your glutes together. Keep your pelvis at the same height as you gently remove the block out to the side. Dial into the feet. Legs are working. Press into your big toes to raise your heels up. And then slowly come down. Alternate between those two movements a few times. Going up and down with control. And optionally, see if you can grab the back of your hands one at a time to pull the fingertips back for a wrist stretch. But don't stop pulsing. See if it's possible to keep both movements going at the same time. Keep pulsing a little longer. Maybe add some wrist circles. And as you stop pulsing, just press into the big toes. Lift up the heels and hold. And then slowly release. Without changing the position of your pelvis, move your left foot a bit towards center and lift your right leg all the way up and place it on that top foot. Without pressing onto that left knee, just gently lift up into that right glute. And then keep squeezing the right glute. And then you can just start pulsing there. And then the right foot comes down. Left foot lifts up. Lift into the right glute a little bit to come a little higher. You can also imagine that the back of your legs are pulling all the way back, so you feel that engagement happening there. The glutes are squeezing. Hold it up there, just another breath. Keep squeezing. And then slowly release and segmentally come all the way down. Bring the knees into the chest. Give them a little bit of a shake. As you bend the knees, knees are above your hips. As we prepare for some abdominal exercises, we want to make sure that your sacrum bone is down on the ground and the back of your ribs, where your bra line ends, is down, pushing all the way into the ground. Once you found that, the knees can be bent or you can straighten them. Place your hands under your head and then exhale, come all the way up. Start releasing your right leg about 2/3 all the way down. And then keep pulling toward you with your left toes. And then inhale, release. Exhale, come up again. Off of the shoulder blades, left foot releases down about 2/3 of the way. Come up a little higher. And then inhale, release. Exhale, come up again. Right leg lowers. This time twist an inch or so to the left. Both shoulder blades are off the ground. Back to center. Inhale, release. Exhale, come up again. Start lowering your left leg. Twist to the right. Come up a little higher. Go back to center. Inhale, release. Exhale. Come up. Right leg down. Twist to the left. And this time start reaching over to that left side with your right arm. Go a little further. And then inhale back to center. Exhale, come all the way up. Left foot lowers. Twist to the right. And now add that left arm. Reach a little further. Back to center. Inhale, release. Exhale, come up again. Right leg lowers. Twist to the left. Reach with the right arm. Stay up high, don't come down. Now just twist over to the right. Reach with the left arm. You can do it. Keep going. Back to center. Release. Exhale, come up again. Just 2 more, we're almost done. Start releasing the left foot down. Twist over to the right. Reach further with the left arm. Keep reaching. Stay away. Stay off of the shoulder blades as you twist over to the left. Reaching over with the right arm. And release. Last one. Exhale all the way up. Left foot lowers. Twisting to the left. Reach with the right arm. Stay up high. Twist over to the right. Reach again with that left arm. And then come all the way down. Come into a tabletop position. Stack your wrists under your shoulders and your knees under your hips. Keep your back and your neck straight. Step your right foot forward to your right hand. Then do it again. But this time stay there and push your weight forward into that leg. And then move the foot back to center and then push forward again. And then now out to the side, over to the left. And back to center again, push forward. And finally stepping that right leg out to the side. So my right heel is roughly in line with my left knee. And I'm trying to put my pelvis into as neutral of a position as possible. I'm going to show it to you from a side angle where you're gonna see it better. So I'm trying to push down with the right side to keep it leveled, and I'm pushing forward with the left hip. So there's engagement on the back, on the top of my left hip flexor. Reach the arms all the way out to the side. And then start shifting the weight again into that right leg so your knee is passing your ankle. Just do it a couple of times. And then as you come back to center, fix your pelvis now and start reaching over to the right again, but this time only with the torso. So it's almost like you're gliding your ribs over to the side and then all the way back. And now look over to your left hand, and it's going to be a little bit more challenging on this side, leaning over to the left. And then see if that left hand eventually wants to reach down all the way to the ground. Reach your top arm all the way up for a nice side stretch. Keep reaching. Keep pushing the left hip forward. And then slowly with control, come all the way back. If you're using a block, then place it beside your right foot. And as you reach over to the right with the torso, as you're gliding your ribs, reach that right arm all the way down to the block or to the floor, and reach the left arm all the way above. Coming back to center, let's see if we can lift up onto the right tippy toes, and if we can make our way back into kneeling position with control. And press all the way back into downward facing dog. Pedal your feet out or do any movement, what feels good for you here. I'm going to bend into my knees and come all the way up onto my tippy toes. As I start to twist over to the right, see if my heels wants to release. And then come back onto the tippy toes, twist to the left. And then just do a couple of more of each. Twisting side to side, heels come down or not. And then returning back to downward facing dog and coming back into tabletop position. Step your left foot toward your left hand. And then do it one more time. Stay there, come all the way up, keep your back straight, try not to move your pelvis, and shift the weight forward into that leg again. Now the foot moves back to center, push forward, and then now out to the side, pushing forward from another angle. Back to center one more time, push, come back, and finally step that left foot out to the side. Prepare your block if you're using it, place it beside your left foot. Find that engagement. Push forward with the right side of your hip. The glute is engaged. And now reach your arms out to the side, or you can rest them on your pelvis as you start pushing the weight into that left foot again to the side. Just a couple of times. Then reach out your arms again, and this time not moving your lower body, just gliding the ribs out to the side and reaching out to the left. And now look over to your right hand and then reach out to the right a couple of times. See if that right hand wants to reach down to the ground. Keep reaching over with the left arm. And then return back to center. Look over to the left. And then now reach for the block or for the ground. Reach your right arm all the way above your head. And then return back to center again, slowly with control. See if we can add that little proprioception hip work to it. If we can release down to kneeling again with control. And then stepping all the way back to downward facing dog. Start walking your hands toward your feet. Bend into the knees generously if you need to. Let your head hang and slowly roll all the way up to standing. Take your time. Making sure that your head comes up last. And we're going to progress forward now with some hip cars. And when I'm saying cars, I don't mean the vehicles. I'm referring to controlled articular rotations to increase mobility in the joints. So you either need to stand by a wall or you need to grab a stick, like a regular broomstick. And then lift your right leg up, bend the right knee, and start rolling your knee out to the side. And then back to center, turn the knee in, so the heel goes out. So again, knee turns out, heel in, external rotation, and then the opposite inner rotation. Spin the knee out, and then now start opening your legs a little bit to the side. And then start rotating it all the way in as you extend it all the way back. And come back to center. Turning the knee out, opening the hip, rotating in, extending it back, and bringing it all the way in. Let's do it again. The knee turns out, the heel comes up. Open the leg to the side without moving the hip. Roll it in and extend it all the way back. We're going to switch position. Directions. So we're going to move the knee all the way back and then squeeze the bum together and circle it all the way forward. Again, without moving the lower back, the knee moves back and then start to open the leg, and without lifting the side of your hips, circle it all the way back. I'm going to show it to you from a different direction. So that right leg moves back with no movement in the lower back. The glute is engaged. I squeeze my bum as I start to open it and bring it forward without lifting the right side of my pelvis. And now let's switch sides. Lift your left leg up, flex the left foot, turn the knee out, the heel comes in, external rotation. And then now spin the knee in, the heel moves out, inner rotation. So finding that external rotation, knee will turn out, heel comes in, start opening the leg to the side, and then start spinning it all the way in, move it all the way back and all the way down so the knees touch. Bring it all the way up again, turn it out, external rotation, start opening, and then spinning it all the way in for the inner rotation, extending it back and bringing it down. Let's do one more. External rotation, open, spin the knee in, squeeze, and extend it all the way back. Let's switch directions. Switching directions of those circles. I'm moving the left leg, extending it back, squeezing the bum, and then circling it forward. So you need to imagine this, that it doesn't really matter how big the circle is. We're trying to lubricate the joint. So what I'm aiming here for is not to move the pelvis, not to turn from the torso, just simply doing small circles from the hip, nothing else moves. And then release it all the way down. Put the prop aside. We're going to continue with some shoulder cars now. Cars for the glenohumeral joint. If you have tennis balls or massage balls, you could use them here, but if not, you're perfectly fine. Reach your arms all the way out to the side and flip your palms over so your shoulders and your chest is nicely open. Bring your right arm all the way into center, a little over the midline. You can squeeze your hand as you start reaching that right arm all the way above your head. Really important, don't let your ribs pop out as you start to turn and rotate your arm all the way in. You're spinning it in, all the way down as you can, so my knuckles are facing my hips. And then from that same direction, I reach it all the way back up and all the way back down. And then go again, reach all the way up. Start spinning it in. Imagine you're roasting chicken and you're turning it in. As you reach back, you keep turning, turning, turning. From that same inner rotation, reach the arm back and then start spinning it all the way forward again. Let's switch sides. Bring the left arm in toward the midline. Leave your ribs all the way down. You can even place your right hand under your ribs, on your ribs. Start reaching up with the left arm. Start spinning it all the way in and all the way back. Keep spinning it in. Keep going into that inner rotation as you're reaching back. Then from that same inner rotation, you reach all the way up and then you spin it all the way forward. Let's just do 2 more of that. See what happens if you start to squeeze your bum. See what happens if you really start to squeeze that left hand when you're doing that axial rotation, when you're turning it all the way in and then you're bringing it all the way out. 1 more last time. Reach it up. Start spinning it in, inner rotation. Keep inner rotating as you're going all the way back. Then reach back from that inner rotation without using your torso. Spin it all the way forward from the shoulder. And then release. Return to the top of your mat. Stand up straight. Inhale, reach your arms all the way up without letting your ribs pop out. Then exhale, hinge from the hips. Inhale halfway, spine is long. Exhale, step your left foot back, then your right foot back for plank position. Keep curling the toes under, the fingers are pulling to the toes are pulling to the fingers. Slowly with control, lower all the way down to the ground. Press the top of the feet, the pelvis and the chest into the ground and hover your hands off of the floor. From here, toes are curling under, pushing back into plank or just right away into downward facing dog. Inhale, reach your right leg up. Exhale, step the right foot forward, drop the left knee down, come all the way up and reach your arm all the way up to the sky. Keep the ribs down. And now exhale the right hand down. Start reaching toward the ground with that right hand as you're leaning over to that side and reaching all the way up with the left arm. Now start to release your left hand in front of you as you start to open to the side with your right arm for a nice open chain twist. And you can either stay there or if it feels good for you, then you can find your way into a prayer's position. You decide if you want to leave that left knee on the ground or if you want to extend it back. And now exhale the hands down and step back into downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your left leg up. Exhale, step the left foot forward. Drop the right knee down. Keep the back straight. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up. Keep reaching up high. As you release the left arm, start leaning over to that left side. See if that left arm wants to reach all the way down to the ground. As you start moving your right arm forward, open that left arm all the way back for an open chain twist again. And then maybe you want to find that prayer twist position. Maybe not. We are all going to meet in plank. So stepping back into plank, and again, with control, lowering all the way down. Press the top of the feet into the ground. Keep the hands hovering. As you inhale, come all the way up into upward facing dog, or just right away into downward dog, your choice. Any movement, what feels right for you here? Maybe shaking your head or saying yes and no. Long deep breath. We're going to revisit those twists we just did in the beginning, coming up on the tippy toe and then twisting over to the right and then twisting over to the left. You can also keep your knees bent as much as you need to. And then this time, when you twist over to the right, stay there. Reach the left arm up and see if you can kick that right leg forward. And then once you got that, try to step all the way back into downward dog with control. Come up on the tippy toes. Start twisting again, side to side. And then this time we're going to stay twisted on the left side. The right arm is reaching all the way up. And the left leg kicks forward. And then with control, step it back to downward dog. Shift forward to plank. Bend the elbows. Slowly lower down in one piece. Keep the chest heavy, the pelvis is heavy. Hover your hands off of the ground and start squeezing your shoulder blades together. Inhale, either push all the way up into upward dog or exhale and just meet me in downward facing dog. Come all the way down into a seated position. If sitting on your heels is not comfortable, then you can use blocks or a blanket. Reach your arms out to the side. And then gently bend the left elbow and lean over to that left side. Come back to center. Right elbow bends. The left arm is reaching over the head. Let's return to center. One more last time. And then here we go. Nothing else left to do. Just shoot your legs forward and slowly find your way all the way down to the ground for our final resting pose today. If you have a blanket or a towel, you might find it beneficial placing it under your head. Or if you have any tightness in your lower back, then you could roll it under your knees. Otherwise, just keep your eyes closed. Return to your breathing. Try to inhale and exhale through your nose. And with every exhalation, feel your body getting heavier and heavier, sinking into the ground. Just relax. We're going to stay here for another couple of breaths. But if you have the time, or if you feel like that you need to stay longer in relaxation, then please do so. Feel free to just turn me off now. Otherwise, start moving your toes and your fingers around. You can start moving your head side to side. So one more last time. Let's reach the arms all the way up toward the ceiling. As you push the back of your ribs all the way down to the ground, reach your arm over your head. But just to the point where there's no movement in the lower back and your ribs don't want to pop out. Once your ribs starting to pop out, just stay up at that height. And now start gathering the knees together, bringing them to the chest. Can rock side to side. And then gently twist all the way over to the right. The knees are on top of each other. And keep looking over your left shoulder. We're aiming to keep both shoulders down on the ground. And if it feels accessible for you, you can try to put your hand on the top of your hip and press it forward for a little extra stretch. And then when you're ready, roll all the way back to center and drop the knees over to the left side. If this is difficult for you to staying down, then again, you can use blankets, you can use blocks between your legs or under your legs. Do anything you need to support yourself. And then slowly coming all the way back to center, rolling over to the right side, staying there for a couple of breaths, creating a pillow with the right arm under. And as I press into my left hand, I push all the way up to come up into a seated position. Thank you very much again for joining me for this practice today. And if you have any questions, or if there's anything about the instructions maybe not 100% clear, then just shoot me a message. I'm here and I'm very happy to connect with you. Thank you again, and I hope you have a lovely day.